Before the billions of views, before the memes, before the American talk shows and the horse dance, there was a boy from Seoul, a boy with a curious gaze, dissonant dreams, born into comfort but drawn to chaos. His name, Park Jae-sang. He was born in December 1977 into a privileged family. His father ran a semiconductor company. His mother came from a respectable background. He grew up in Seoul's upscale neighborhoods, attended the most prestigious private schools, and mingled with the elite from a young age. Everything pointed toward a perfect future, a model heir, a corporate leader, the ideal son. But Park didn't care for any of it. Classes bored him. Discipline felt like a prison. Predestined paths suffocated him. What obsessed him were sounds, not the sounds of the classroom, but those from the streets, the airwaves, the American refrains he devoured in secret. Tupac, Eminem, Notorious B.I.G. At 15, he began writing his own lyrics, in secret, because at home, no one took that passion seriously. A businessman's son was not supposed to rap. In 1996, his father made a decision. He sent him to Boston, in the United States, to study business, a top university, a solid future. But as soon as Park arrived, he derailed the plan. He skipped classes, vanished from lecture halls, and roamed the neighborhoods where music was made. He didn't dream of Excel spreadsheets. He dreamed of samplers, hooks, and beat machines. He soon dropped out of university and made an unexpected decision. He enrolled at Berklee College of Music, one of the most respected music schools in the world. There, he studied composition, sound design, musical language, but more importantly, he discovered what he truly wanted: to depend on no one, not a degree, not a boss, not even a genre. He wanted to disturb the norm. Park returned to Korea, no longer the prodigal son. He came back ready to break everything. He changed his name, picked a short, strange, almost menacing alias, Psy, short for psycho, and Korea wasn't ready. In 2001, he dropped his first video, Bird, a visual UFO. He didn't have the boy band looks, nor the softness of traditional K-pop. He screamed, pulled faces, moved bizarrely, but it worked. The public loved it. What was once seen as provocation became a style. His first album, Psy from the Psycho World, followed shortly after, and it caused a storm. Authorities accused him of vulgarity, bad taste, and corrupting the youth. The album was censored, but Psy didn't back down. He released a second album, Saw 2, even more explosive. It was, of course, banned for listeners under 19, but the ban became its own advertisement. Psy realized the more he shocked, the more attention he attracted. He turned censorship into a seductive weapon. In 2002, he released 3 Psy, another punch in the face, but this time, among the provocative tracks, one song changed everything. Champion, an anthem for the World Cup held in South Korea that year. Against all odds, the song became the unofficial hymn of the tournament. Even conservatives began to cheer for him. Psy was no longer just a clown. Without even trying, he became a symbol. People loved and hated him in equal measure. He was funny and annoying at the same time. He broke every mold. And in Korea, that's rare. But behind the laughter and outrageous videos, tension quietly built. Because artists who don't want to fit into any mold often end up standing alone. The story could have ended there. A controversial artist, adored and then forgotten. But behind the scenes, Psy never stopped. He kept writing, producing, searching. He was no longer making headlines, but he was watching. And something was brewing. The world was changing. The internet was exploding. The boundaries between cultures and markets were dissolving, and one day, in the quiet of his studio, an idea took shape. Simple, weird, unclassifiable. He pushed it all the way. Then he clicked publish. It was July 15, 2012. A video appeared on YouTube. A man in a colorful suit, miming an invisible horse, shouting a strange chorus. It was Gangnam Style, and on the surface, it looked like a joke.
오빤 Gangnam Style.
But within days, the algorithm went wild. First in Korea, then Japan, then Europe, then the United States, and soon everywhere. The clip spread like a virus. People didn't even try to understand the lyrics. They laughed, they danced, they imitated. Within 5 months, the video crossed 1 billion views, a first in YouTube history. The platform's counter broke, unable to register such a number. Engineers had to upgrade the system. Gangnam Style entered the Guinness Book of Records. It became a cultural phenomenon, a global meme, and Psy became an international superstar. He danced with Barack Obama, made Ellen DeGeneres laugh, did interviews, talk shows, giant stages. In a matter of weeks, he went from local rebel to global icon. But amid this media tsunami, most people missed a key detail. No one really knew what the song was about. Because behind the absurdity was a message. Gangnam is a district in Seoul, one of the wealthiest, flashiest ones. Luxury, plastic surgery, status symbols, a showcase of societal success. But Psy didn't come from Gangnam, and he hated everything it stood for. He once said, "Real Gangnam residents never talk about Gangnam. Those who brag about it don't live there." So with this song, he mocked them. He caricatured fake wealth, pretentiousness, superficiality. He exaggerated, ridiculed, pushed it to the extreme. But abroad, that nuance was lost. The satire turned into gimmick. The irony became entertainment, and Psy quickly understood that, because the bigger the success, the more he was typecast. Everywhere he went, people asked for one thing only, the same joke. Again and again, new songs, nobody cared. What the audience wanted was the horse dance, nothing else. So Psy complied. He smiled, he jumped, he played the part. But something inside was fading. He fell into depression. He later admitted it openly. He was scared of being reduced to one song, scared of being labeled a one-hit wonder. He started drinking, a lot, too much. In an interview, he confessed, "When I'm sad, I drink. When I'm happy, I drink. When it rains, I drink. When it's sunny, I drink." Vodka became his only companion. The only times he was sober were the mornings after. While the world kept dancing, Psy was drowning. Behind the sunglasses, there was no light left. Just a man exhausted, stuck in a loop. But that pain didn't begin with Gangnam Style. It went back further. In 2001, long before the fame, he was arrested for marijuana possession. In South Korea, that's a serious crime. He spent 25 days in custody. While in jail, his grandfather died. He didn't get to say goodbye, didn't see the coffin, and that unresolved grief stayed with him for years, silently. Add to that the shame, media pressure, and public judgment. The image of a fallen idol, the unforgivable mistake, the feeling of being unworthy. Over time, that inner wound never truly healed, and after Gangnam Style, it became a chasm. Because how do you know who you are when the whole world sees you as a joke? Psy split in two. He smiled for cameras, but he wasn't really there. He sang but didn't listen anymore. He played his own role from a distance. And as the years passed, he disappeared behind the icon. He could have quit, retired, vanished, lived off his royalties. But Psy didn't want to become a relic of the internet. He kept going, kept trying, kept insisting. In April 2013, less than a year after Gangnam Style, he dropped another video. Gentlemen, same absurd tone, same weird choreography. The video did well, really well, but the magic had faded. The echo was shorter. The world had moved on. He tried pivoting globally. He made Hangover with Snoop Dogg, a wild clip filmed in a few days. The song entered US charts. He followed up with Daddy, New Face, Love. The visuals were sharp. The ideas were there. But the viral spark was gone. K-pop, meanwhile, had evolved without him. New faces, new codes, new stars. And Psy, despite all his talent, began to feel like he belonged to a past era. But he refused to be a relic. He wanted control back. So in May 2018, he left YG Entertainment, one of Korea's biggest agencies. No more corporate structure, no more half-made decisions. He founded his own label, P Nation. This new chapter didn't make headlines. He wasn't chasing fame anymore. He wanted to build, to pass the torch, to free other voices. He signed artists who didn't fit into boxes and gave them what he never had: space, boldness, creative freedom. P Nation became a lab. The numbers were solid. Songs came out. Artists thrived. But Psy stayed in the background, no longer dancing in the front. He was pushing others forward, and for a while, it seemed that was it, that his story ended with Gangnam Style, period. But in 2022, he came back, quietly, with a new album, Psy 9th, and a surprising lead single, That, a collaboration with Suga, member of BTS, the global K-pop phenomenon. The clip was polished, fun, modern. The mix of both styles worked. Suga brought precision, Psy brought the madness. Fans responded, old ones returned, young ones discovered. But this time, Psy wasn't chasing buzz. He wasn't chasing records. He came back because he wanted to, because he had something to say, because finally he knew who he was. He got back on stage. He smiled. He danced. Calmer, sharper, less over the top. He'd lost weight. Some fans joked, "You're losing your character." He replied on Instagram, "They don't want me to get skinny, LOL." Then he apologized for his body, for his image, as if being himself still wasn't enough. But this time, he wasn't playing. He wasn't miming. He was there, as he is, and that was enough. For a long time, the world reduced him to a joke, a viral song, a man pretending to ride a horse. Then it moved on. But he stayed, not in trends, not in rankings, but in history, because he was the first to prove that a Korean artist, without a Western machine behind him, could shake the planet, because he turned parody into critique, because he dared, while others imitated. Today, he's not trying to please anymore. He creates, he supports, he opens doors, and maybe his greatest achievement wasn't that billion-view video. It's that he survived the moment the world stopped looking.